Today I'm visiting Wigginton Road Cemetery in Tamworth, which I hadn't been to before, and I've just been finding my way around a little before filming this. Those were the main gates, which are only open when there is a funeral. There's a car park down the avenue this way, and then off to the left, which is where you would normally stop to visit. Now, there's quite a lot of graves here to look at, and it's taken me a little while to get the hang of where they're all positioned, but I think I'm getting it now. But we're now with the old part of the cemetery on the left. That's the original part, which opened in 1876, and the newer part is on the right, over here. So that's the rough starting point for finding things. And at the end there's a cross. Well, that's not the end, that's the middle. There's a huge cross flower bed, which you can see better when you're a little bit closer, but that was quite interesting to look at. So let's have a little look around. You know how much I love angels if you've watched me before. So right on the left here, when you walk in, there is the angel dedicated to Nancy Eileen Munn. Isn't that sweet? A lovely little one. And I've used her as a landmark for somebody else's grave that I was looking for my Find a Grave investigations, which is round about here. You've just got to count across sometimes. It may well be underneath all that holly. And then in this corner we've got a little group of military graves. Private G.H. Smedley, North Staffordshire Regiment, who was 23 when he died. And then there are three more over here. I think what we'll do is walk down the old part first and then come back up through the new. So here's the other military graves. We've got Sergeant A. Lakin of the North Staffordshire Regiment as well. He was 35. Grave 4435. There's some quite good markers here. Not everywhere, but that's an example of one of the markers. Often you have to identify graves by looking at neighbouring graves, and sometimes if you're lucky there's a number carved on the back. So this is a Chetwynd, Royal Army Medical Corps. No, Royal Army Veterinary Corps, sorry, I misread that. There's a lot of moss on this one. Who died in the First World War. No age on that one. He was a private. And then over here is Private J.H. Sewell, or Sewell, East Yorkshire Regiment, also died in 1916, 12th of October. Nice little shady spot, this. There's a little side gate up there to the left. We'll wend our way down this alley, this avenue, which takes us into the older part of the cemetery. Just realised that my hand was on my microphone, so I hope that wasn't too noisy. It's a very warm day today. So there's some quite grand graves here, considering they're not that old. These are all 1900s. We've got Annie, daughter of William White of Ashton, Devon, who fell asleep at Tamworth Hospital in 1902. I wonder what they were doing here. Anne Heathcote, 1934, and James, 1942. It's a very curious memorial over here. Not sure what's going on here. We've got Gilbert Arthur and Ronald Ilsey on that plinth there. Then we've got a cross with a lot of large rocks. And then if I pop round the other side of this one, we have in loving memory of John William Leader, Born in August 22nd, 1852, taken away December the 28th, 1889. Oh God, be merciful unto him. I wonder why there's all these rocks. Could he have been a miner? Unusual grave. This one has a similar stone hewn out of rock. John Hanbury Masfen, who died in 1900. I don't think there's a connection between the two. I'm wandering up this way because there's another quite grand sculpture to have a look at. This is George Spafford, late of Cheltenham. And that's an Angel of Mercy. George Spafford died in 1880 in Wigginton here, and his widow Helen is also commemorated there. There's quite a variety of different styles in this cemetery, which is quite interesting. We've got a typical weathered sandstone one where you can barely make out. She's Sarah Taverner, could well be Taverner. And here we've got a John Hastelow, a slate one. And I know there's a lot of Hastelows still in this area. And then completely different, a simple little cross here. And over here, a very ornate cross, which is Harry Sylvester, superintendent of this cemetery. Oh, how nice. He's here where he looked after the cemetery before. It could take me a very long time to work my way around here. There are something like 10,000 graves here, so lots to investigate. My eye's been drawn by this cenotaph here, obelisk. Let's see who that belongs to. There's another rocky one over there, and another one over there. I wonder if they are mining people. So this is George Morgan, late manager of the Bedworth Coal and Iron Company, who died in 1887. Aged 50, erected by his workmen and friends as a token of respect. How lovely to respect your boss that much. Don't often see these cylindrical ones. So this is WO, I think. Wigginton. Mr. Wigginton in Wigginton. And Harriet Eliza. And their daughter Mary Ann. Right, let's get back onto the path again. We'll be here all day if we carry on at this speed, so I'll try and take you round a little bit more, a little bit quicker. I'll stop and give you your bearings just for a second though. So the entrance was down there where we came in, and there's the cross that sits in the middle. That's all the newer graves over on that side, and we're walking down the middle avenue. There's another very dramatic grave here. John Curzon Shaw, Lieutenant, 19th SRV, 1879. That would be the something Staffordshire Royal Volunteers or something like that, at a guess. That's very grand. Oh, 19th Staffordshire Rifle Volunteers. There we go. In affectionate remembrance of a comrade who had done much to promote the interests of his corps. That's nice. With a lovely shady spot here with some conifers and pines. I'm hearing a lot of bird song and magpies chattering, but I haven't seen any animals yet. What was that I said about trying to be a bit quicker? Failing miserably. Anne Esther Steer, sister of Edward Steer, Bishop of the University's Mission, Central Africa. There's plenty of things you could investigate here, aren't there? Very pious one, that one. There's another huge obelisk there. So this is the last little avenue off, which serves this older part of the cemetery. Oh, I don't know why this one's been fenced off. Curious. No sign of damage. And we run out of path here. I think I can go that way. Another one that's been fenced off. Footpath closed. For further information, please contact the office. I think that was across this footpath rather than round that grave, and it's just been moved a bit, but who knows? Apparently in the mornings, if you wanted to come and visit here in the mornings, there are some staff on site who might be able to help you if you're looking for a particular grave. So here we are at the avenue that divides the old and new parts of the cemetery. So there we are looking back at the cross. This is all the new graves. Well, when I say new, they go back a long way, some of them. That's called the second phase. There was a first phase over there, and then the second phase over here. Now, I've come along here today with a long list of find a grave plots to try and find for people who've requested them. People all over the world, Australia, Canada, lots of different people. And I do try to find some every time I come, and I've managed to find 4 plots today, but it took a little longer because I was trying very hard to find my way around. So these are some of the ones I've been looking for today, and another sheet here. These are all ones that people are waiting for. The yellow ones are the ones I've found, and I'm just wondering whether I have any chance at all of finding any more today. There are some groundsmen over there. There's an angel to have a look at though. Paul Janecko, who died in 2020. That's a beautiful grave. Right, let's go back this way. 2003. So we're continuing up here looking for Graham Bradford, 2003. And this seems to be a slightly better period. We've got 2008. (2014), 2008 again. Quite a lot from 2008 in this area, so perhaps I need to go a little bit further that way. We'll head up that. So I'm now at the newer part of the cemetery into the 2000s, and I'm looking for a particular grave for somebody who was trying to find it on Find a Grave. Nice little shady spot under the trees there. Let's see what we can find. All I know is that this particular grave is supposed to be somewhere at the back here. We're definitely in the right general vicinity, but I'm afraid I can't see it. It's quite a challenge trying to find graves sometimes. There are, as I said before, over 10,000 here. It's never going to be easy without some sort of clue, and I think the person might need to find the exact plot number from the council. don't normally film in the newer parts of graveyards in case there are people spending their time here, but in this instance there isn't anybody in this part of the graveyard, and I am looking for a specific grave for somebody, so I think it is reasonable to be here on this occasion. It's peaceful. I found him. Just spotted him. So this is the one we were looking for. Graham Bradford, who died in 2003. Now I was told that there was a fisherman, but there isn't. There are praying hands instead. I can't see any fishermen here. So this also remembers his wife, Lorena, who died in 2022. So there we go, I've achieved what I needed to achieve. I will now turn my camera off and I will log on to find a grave to add this particular grave to it, as requested by one of the descendants. See you again another time. Bye.